It's on.
You ready for this?
Okay. Just remember, don't walk in front of the screen. Don't walk in front of the screen. Right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our open enrollment meeting. We've got a lot of good presenters here. We are recording this session, so people will be able to watch it on the benefits page also. I'd like to thank you all for coming. And first off, we're going to start with Delta Dental is going to present first.
Thank you. I want to start off by saying thanks for being here. We really are excited to be here and appreciate it, especially the brave runs in the front row. I used to be a teacher, and for some reason the front row always is the last to get full. But we're going to quickly talk about Delta Dental, the benefits, and then at the end, if there's any questions, feel free, or I'll be here after the meeting as well. We've been with Delta for a while now. There are no changes to the plan, but just giving a quick overview here. You have our Delta Dental point of service, which is our best option. What makes Delta a little different is we have a dual network model with our PPO and Premier. The only difference between PPO and Premier is the discount. Our PPO is going to be a bit smaller of a network with a deeper discount, and that's going to help you save on your out-of-pocket costs and extend your annual maximum. For the Premier, that's going to be a larger network and just a less of a discount. So the two both make up our in-network. There's no balance billing, but those are the two networks for you to check out. Between the two networks, 4 out of 5 dentists participate nationwide in our network. So if you're on vacation or have a dependent that's out of the state, you can find a PPO and Premier providers in any network, and you just want to make sure those are submitted if there's any claims back to the Delta Dental of Ohio. You also have the freedom to choose any dentist. We strongly recommend you use a PPO and Premier dentist, but there are a few that are out of network. You can go to that as well, but again, you'll save more money and won't be balance billed if you go in network. Quick overview of the plan design here. Again, it's going to be the 3 columns showing the 2 in network and the out of network. First at the top, the annual maximum is unlimited, which is a very generous benefit, meaning there's no cap to your services. You do have orthodontia services covered at 50%, and that is a lifetime max of $1,500. And the deductible is $50 per person. So if you have additional family members, it would also be $50 for dependents. And we do have a carryover option. So if you've met your deductible after October 1st of this year, it'll continue and you'll have that met for next year. So that's a nice benefit. And then for the diagnostic and preventative services, that's going to be covered at 80% across the board. Same for basic services, 80%, and your major services are also covered at 80%, which is a great benefit. And then, as I mentioned, the orthodontic services covered at 50%. Just some kind of general housekeeping here. The couple ways to find a dentist. You can ask your dentist if they participate in PPO or Premier. If you're really looking to make sure you know which one, you might want to ask them to specify. If you say, hey, are you in Delta Dental? They might just say yes. If you're looking specifically for a PPO to get that savings, you might want to clarify that. We also have a website, deltadentaloh.com. There's a link on there to find a dentist. You can either choose by PPO, Premier, or just get all the ones in the area. We have a smartphone app and a consumer toolkit app, which I'll talk about in a second, that has this information, as well as calling our customer service department. And our customer service department is excellent. They can answer a lot of questions first time you call, in addition to just finding a dentist. Consumer Toolkit, as I mentioned, is an online tool for your members, so you can, when you sign up, it has a ton of options for you. You can verify your eligibility status, or if you have dependents, make sure that they're enrolled. You can view and print EOBs. You can also get a personalized ID card. You can see your annual maximum. There's also some other great information for kids, like a toothbrush timer, a dental cost estimator if you're looking to get some services done. The dental cost estimator is a great option to see what that might cost. As I mentioned, the smartphone app as well, another great tool. You can find a dentist on here. You can view the ID card, so if you are at the dentist, you can just bring that up. This also has the toothbrush timer and the dental cost estimator. And finally, again, the customer service is from 8:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. We have an automated system, and some of the things they can do is adjust and provide claim status, reorder ID cards, resend EOBs, and verify benefits and eligibility. So that kind of covers everything. If there's any questions now, or I'll be here at the end if you have something specific. But again, thank you very much for coming today.
Oh, yeah, I gotta have that too. Next up, we have Jen, and she is from Vision Benefits of America, or VBA, and she's going to talk to you about your vision benefits.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. As Patty said, my name is Jen. I'm with VBA. We are your group vision insurance. We've been your provider for a long time, so nothing has changed. So we'll just go over a refresher of VBA. So how to use your benefits. If you know that you're eligible, you don't need to do anything other than go to the provider. We do not have ID cards. The provider pulls up your information on their portal. So if you want to check your eligibility, you can go online, but if you already know you're eligible and you just want to go to the doctor, you can do that. It's really that simple. Patty has some generic ID cards, just something for you to have in your wallet with our contact information on it. But go on the website, check eligibility, your dependents, things. You could search for a provider, you can get an EOB. Everything you would need would be online if you wanted to look. If you needed to contact VBA, and again, these numbers are on the papers up at the table, but we're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. You can email, fax, phone, call in to us. So what are your benefits? You have a yearly benefit, so that is exam, lenses, and frames, or contacts once a year. So that's a great benefit to be able to get each every year. So it is either or, glasses or contacts. So one year you can get glasses, the next contacts, whatever you choose. You do not have any copays. So if you go in to get your routine eye exam, covered in full. Any of our participating providers, you will not pay any extra for your exam. And materials, you do not have a copay. Now, if you go over on your lenses or on your frame, that will be an additional charge. But if you stay within all your allowances, you don't have any copay. You could walk out without paying anything. So what is covered? Your lenses are covered. Your single vision, line, bifocal, trifocal, 1-year scratch comes on all lenses, and polycarbonate is covered in full for children under age 19. And non-covered lens options such as tints, anti-reflective, any extra that you would put on your lens is out of pocket, but still at a controlled cost. It's never full retail. So frames, how we work with our frames is on wholesale. So $50 wholesale allowance is what you have, which is around $125 to $150 retail. That's how much the doctors will mark up the frame. But with VBA working on wholesale, it doesn't matter how much they mark up their frame because they still need to go by the wholesale amount of it, and the wholesale is the wholesale, so that can't change. So it really stops the doctor markup And you can feel comfortable wherever you go. You're going to pay the same price for your frame no matter which provider you went to. Some of VBA's discounts that we have partnered with for our members is for LASIK. We have 2 providers. So if you plan on getting LASIK, you just let them know that you have VBA. So our first one is TLC, and the second is QualSight. So if you're going to get LASIK done, I would just suggest calling both of them. See which one is a better fit for you. And we also have a Beltone discount. You just let them know you have VBA, you get a free hearing screening. This is a hearing benefit. So limitations is just basically saying, as I explained before, any tints, any progressive, anti-reflective, it's all going to be at an extra cost. Again, never full retail. I just wanted to touch real quick on eye health. So let's ask a question. True or false? You do not need to see an eye doctor unless you're having trouble with vision. Of course it's false. A comprehensive eye exam can help detect problems before they become severe. So systemic diseases, eye diseases, and other diseases can be detected through your routine vision exam. So some of the systemic diseases, pre-diabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure, all the doctor can see by looking, dilating your eyes, looking into your eyes. Some of the more common eye diseases everybody's aware of: glaucoma, cataracts, macular degeneration. But again, these are things you want to catch early through your eye exam. And then stroke, heart attack, brain tumors, high cholesterol. I mean, these are legitimately all things that can be detected through an eye exam. And you do not have a copay, as I mentioned. So, it's very important to get your eyes checked every year. And I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Nope? Okay. This is so good. The second time's always, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to introduce next is Michael Husline, and he is from Aetna, and he's going to talk about all the good changes coming for 2020.
All right. Thank you, Patty. Hi, everybody. As Patty mentioned, I'm Michael from Aetna. Before I begin, everyone got a white envelope when they came in, but I think 8 or 9 of you, when you came in, we ran out. So raise your hand, please, if you didn't get one of these white envelopes, and Kayla will pass them out to you. Just keep your hands up, and we'll get them to you. Because all the slides I'm going to show will be in this white envelope, so you don't have to write a bunch of stuff down. So every slide will be in this white envelope. Okay? So as we're passing those out, just so everybody knows, so with Aetna, I'm going to be talking about your medical plan options. We're going to be talking about the prescription drug, which is moving over to Aetna on January 1st. We're going to talk about flexible spending account and health savings account, HSA. Now, HSA is new, moving over to Aetna on January 1st also. Just to give you a little background, some of you have heard over the past year, CVS bought Aetna late last year. And what does that mean to you? Well, on the medical side, really nothing. There's no changes. CVS handles pharmacy, Aetna handles the medical. And all the Aetna folks are still running the medical. But even though Aetna used to have pharmacy in the past, now with CVS running it, the pharmacy is even better. So the CVS folks are pretty much running the pharmacy business. So we have the best of both worlds there. So what we wanted to talk first is your medical plan is a Choice POS2 plan. It's a fancy term for PPO, which means you can go in or out of network. You have that option of just going whether you want to go in network doctor. You can see any doctor that you want. And I'm trying to advance this, but it's not advancing yet. 1 second. 1 second, everybody. Do you see one of them over here? Plug in? I can't see it.
Yep, down here, right there. Oh, no, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
if you could plug that in there. All right, I'm just going to hit page down. Just hit page down. Okay, we'll just do it this way, the old-fashioned way. Okay, everybody, so as you see on here, the Choice PS2 plan, you have inter out-of-network benefits. You can see any doctor you want. It's just that if you happen to go see an in-network doctor, you're going to pay less. And a lot of people ask, well, how do I know who's in-network? Well, we don't have paper directories anymore. Haven't used them for years. And anyone who does use paper directories, they're outdated. By the time you get a paper directory in your hand, it's probably at least 10 months outdated. By the time you collect the data, it goes to print, gets in your hands. So many doctors have left the network, so many doctors have joined the network, retired, died, whatever. It's just not up to date, where the online provider directory is updated daily. It's the most accurate information. So using the Aetna Health app, which we'll talk about in a minute, or the online website on a desktop, we'll talk about that also. But if you do need something printed, and it's mentioned in the bottom right-hand corner here, you always can call customer service. Let's say you're going to go on vacation somewhere and you say, you know what, I'd just like to have a list of pediatricians or whatever of that area. They'll do the same thing you're able to do. Just go on the website, do a screenshot of all the pediatricians in whatever area you're going to, or whatever specialist or doctor you need, urgent care centers, and just mail them to you. But you'll have access to that also. The next slide that's in your packet, this is just more of an FYI, being proactive about your health. I thought we'd share this with you just so you have all these things, so you could see how often you should be getting certain screenings done. I mean, you could see on the right there, your blood pressure you should check annually, breast cancer, women age 50 to 74. One of the things that's changed on here very recently is the middle one, colorectal cancer, colonoscopies. That used to be starting at age 50. Now they're saying you should be getting at age 45. But talk to your doctor about it. But diabetes, et cetera, everybody should be getting their annual physical. It doesn't cost anything. It's free every year. You get a blood test included in your physical, checking your blood sugar, your cholesterol, LDL, triglycerides, et cetera. So you should be doing that on an annual basis. Next is a slide called Informed Health Line. That's just a fancy term for nurse line. Everyone should have the phone number. It's on the right side of this thing plugged into your phone. Anytime, 24/7, you can call a nurse. There's no charge. It might be the middle of the night. You have something going on with a family member. You need to talk to a nurse. That phone number is available to you 24/7, for anything. So you'll also probably get eventually maybe a magnet for your refrigerator being sent to you too. But really, you have this flyer. I'd plug in that phone number into your phone just to have that nurse available. Call it Informed Health Line, call it Nurse Line, whatever's available to you. Now, there may be times you think you need to talk to a doctor. A nurse is not enough. Well, this is something that's going to be new starting January 1st in 2020 is teledoc. It's access to a doctor on the phone. And, this comes in very handy where you might not be able to get to a doctor, you don't have the time. One or two things are going to happen when you call teledoc. The doctor may say, you know what, that issue with your foot doesn't sound too serious, but I think I just want to send a prescription to your pharmacist. They'll send a prescription right to your pharmacist, and you go and pick it up. Because when you register for teledoc, you're going to register, you're going to fill out what your pharmacist is. They'll have that information already. So they've saved you a step of going to the doctor first. They're going to go send the prescription right there. Or they may say, that problem with your foot does sound pretty serious. I think, go need to see a podiatrist. So you go to your podiatrist, or if you don't know of one, they'll recommend one for you that's in network. And instead of you having to physically go to your primary care doc first, just to be told, now you're going to need to see a specialist and make 2 visits, you've taken care of the first visit on the phone. And they're also able to do video chats. So I know people that have had rashes, and they'll hold their phone up to the rash on their arm and say, what does this look like, doc? And the doc will look at it and be like, yeah, that looks like whatever, poison ivy or whatever. I'll send a prescription for you. So you're able to talk to a doctor on the phone. Now, the phone number's at the bottom, 1-855-TELEDOC. Might be another phone number you want to plug in. Now, this won't be available till January 1st. And like I said, you register for it. The doctors aren't going to pick up the phone. I wouldn't have much respect for a doctor that's sitting around answering for a phone. You're calling into a service. They contact the doctor. The doctor calls you back in about 15, 20 minutes, once they're available. So they'll call you back and talk about your issue with you. Okay. Now, for the teledoc, there is a copay. It's the same copay as it would be for your regular doctor's office visit. The teledoc is not free like the nurses. Okay? Now, next, it's called Aetna In Touch Care. The past few years I've been coming here, I've been talking about disease management programs and how proud Aetna was originally years ago. Like everybody else, we had 4 or 5 disease management programs. Then we went up to 10. Then we got up to 36 disease management programs because we realized most people, if you have one condition, you probably have 2, 3, 4. And that's great. We bragged about disease management programs. The only problem with them is they're reactive. They're not proactive. It's like once you have something, all right, now we're going to get you into a program, diabetes, COPD, and see how we can manage it. Well, now we're going to upgrade the next evolution of disease management. It's called In Touch Care, starting on January 1st. It's proactive. We're not going to wait until you get diabetes or COPD. We're going to look at the claim data that you have, the pharmacy claims you have. If you filled out a health risk assessment, any lab data that you have, we're going to look at this and be like, you know what? According to our algorithms, it looks like you're susceptible to whatever, diabetes, anything I mentioned. And it's going to be a nurse calling you, and it's a one-nurse model. So not only is it proactive, you have one nurse. So if you have 3 conditions, you're not going to have 3 different nurses. You're going to have one nurse. If family members also have conditions and need it, the same nurse is going to be calling. So the same nurse for the whole family will be calling you, recommending certain programs that might be helpful to you. Some are one-on-one coaching, some are with the nurse, some are actions that you may need to do, some are just educational, but it's a one-nurse model, but more importantly, it's proactive. Totally voluntary. I mean, you could say, you know what, I don't want any help. Don't call me. It's your choice. Most people welcome it though and be like, wow, I wasn't aware of it, that this lab data plus this claims versus this is prescription I'm taking could lead to something else. So that's the next evolution of disease management that's going to start January 1. So as part of that, I mentioned you'll get a few of these things with that In Touch Care. On the far left, we talk about a personal health record. On the Aetna member website that you have, there'll be a personal health record that's going to have all your claims, when you had immunizations, shots, prescriptions, everything in one place. And this can be printed off. So if you ever go to a new doctor, when you go to a new doctor, they ask you a million questions, you could hand them the personal health record and say, here's everything you need to know. It's right here, and let them enter it in. Health assessment, which we're going to get to in a minute, questionnaire. Health decision support, basically a lot of treatment options, and nurses will be able to call you with online programs, a lot of coaching programs that are available to you, no extra cost. And a personal health database is available on the Aetna member website. I hate to compare it to WebMD, but it has a lot of that similar data where any condition you have, sickness, illness, whatever it could be, looking it up, and it'll tell you, spelled out, what you expect at a doctor, what are at-home treatments, what are possible medications. So you learn about it, so when you go see a doctor, you'll be informed about what questions to ask. So next one. So I mentioned the health risk assessment. We call it Simple Steps to a Healthier Life, and it includes online coaching. What the health risk assessment is an online questionnaire. And I suggest to people to fill this out annually because it's a questionnaire for you. And at the end of it, you get a risk score and seeing what you might be susceptible to. And it asks a lot of questions about, I ask people to take this after you've gotten your annual physical. This way you have the results from your blood work because it'll ask you what's your triglycerides, what's your LDL, HDL, cholesterol, how many servings of fruits and vegetables do you eat a day? Do you smoke? If no, how often? When was last? Drink? How often? When was the last drink? Do you wear seatbelts? What's your family history? It just literally just asks a lot of different questions. And based on all this, at the end, it'll give you a risk score of where you are. The higher the risk score, and it'll tell you what you might be at risk for based on how you answered and your family history. Now, every year I take it, it always suggests the same online coaching program for me. And a lot of them are listed in the purple on the right there. Beat back pain, stress less, kick tobacco, get heart healthy, manage asthma or diabetes, eat healthier and more. Well, every time I fill it out and I don't put enough servings and fruits and vegetables, that gives a trigger. So it usually jumps out at me and says, we're recommending this Eat Healthier program for you. So every year, I get the emails then afterwards, and you could delete them if you want, but it's every 6 weeks I'll get an email, stuff I could read, very educational, usually helps, it usually forces me to eat a few more fruits and vegetables for a few weeks until the next year I have to do it again. But it's usually the question I get with these health risk assessments, at least I used to get them 10 years ago before HIPAA privacy rules, but I don't usually get the questions as much, but what is this information used for? It's used for you. It's not going to be used to increase your rates. Remember, you don't have individual insurance here where you're going out on the street and getting an individual policy where you have to fill out a questionnaire and that's going to determine your rates. You have group rates here. Some of you are healthy, some of you are unhealthy. It doesn't matter, you all pay the same rate. This is for you and on your purposes only to figure out what you might be at risk for and to suggest some online coaching programs. Now, one of the things that we have is the Aetna Health app. It's getting more popular than the member website. And what's great about it is your online provider directory is on here. If you want to search for certain providers, if you're on vacation, you need to find an emergency room, urgent care, pediatrician, whatever, you can look that up. You can view your benefits, pay your claims. Like for instance, if you see a claim on here, it'll say how much the insurance company paid, how much you owe. I always tell people, never pay that doctor's bill when you get it in the mail the first time. When you get that initial bill, do not pay it until you've checked to see if it's gone through the insurance company. Because how do you know, the insurance company hasn't made their payment yet? Let's say you get a $100 bill from the doctor. Well, we have a roughly 50% discount. That's down to 50. What if you paid some of your deductible and you only owe 20 of that 100? Well, it's going to show you that on the app, what you owe. So you don't pay that doctor's bill until that amount matches what you see on here. And in fact, you can pay it from here too. So once you've determined, all right, it does match, you have two. You could pay the doctor's bill and mail it in, do it online, or right from the app, you see the amount due, it says pay here, and you could pay with a credit card, your HSA debit card, or whatever. You just pay it right from the app. So that makes things handy. But always wait. I usually tell people, wait for that second doctor's bill, because you know how they always start, the paper's white, and then the next doctor's bill you get, it might be yellow, then it gets pink, and then it gets red. When they start changing colors, that's when you pay it, because you want to make sure it's gone through the insurance company for their payment. The Aetna ID card is also on the app. If you've lost your card, if you have a dependent away at college and they don't have a card, they lost it, they could always pull up the app, and the front and back of the insurance card is located on it. You could track your progress towards your deductibles and your out-of-pocket maximum, so that's always on there too. So what I'd like to do now, I just want to show you a quick 2-minute video talking about the Aetna Health app.
Than ever between the paperwork, bills, and keeping all the plan. And medical terms straight.
Do we need to minimize the other one again?
I didn't think so.
We sometimes get overwhelmed, but it doesn't have to be this way. Imagine
Plan in one easy-to-access place. Welcome to the Aetna Health app.
I don't know why that's there. I have no idea what that's.
Is there anything else, like maybe minimize it? It's connected there.
Today, healthcare is more confusing.
There you go. You got it. We just need.
Today, healthcare is more confusing than ever. Between the paperwork, bills, and keeping all the plan names and medical terms straight, it's no wonder we sometimes get overwhelmed. But it doesn't have to be this way. Imagine what it would be like to manage your benefits and health plan in one easy-to-access place. Welcome to the Aetna Health app. It's an easier and more convenient way to connect with care, keep track of costs, and understand your plan. You never know when life will throw something at you, like spraining your ankle on your morning run. The Aetna Health app will help you more quickly connect with care. Like using Quick Search helps you to find what you need instantly. And in a few taps, you'll have a list of urgent care centers nearby and know which in-network facilities might be able to help right away. Once you get there, you can pull up your medical ID card right from the app. Your doctor might recommend an X-ray, and with the app, you'll be able to quickly compare cost estimates. Now with the app, you can see what procedures are covered and what you might owe. So you can manage what you spend on care. And you'll always know where you are in reaching your individual and family's deductible. The app puts you in charge, empowering you to make the right spending decisions. Now, when a bill comes in, you don't have to put it in a big pile. You can view and sort your claims in one place. And you can even pay them right from the app. Aetna Health helps you be proactive with your health, like letting you know if there's a flu outbreak in your area so you can get a flu shot. Now you have the tools you need to make smarter health decisions, thanks to the Aetna Health app. Ready to start managing your healthcare benefits in a way that works for you? Just download the free app on the App Store or Google Play today.
Yes, it is. All right, 1 second. We're trying. So the next slide that you have in your papers there is the Aetna member website. After the health, you have the Aetna Health app, and the very next one is the member website. So what I wanted to talk to you about that as we're trying to get it up here is the website has all the same stuff that's on the app, but it has even additional data on it. And what it has is, for instance, it's going to have, I mentioned like that tool similar to WebMD where you could find a lot of information on staying healthy, you know, what to expect at the doctor and so forth. But in addition, there's other discounts that are available on the member website. It's just easier to look at, sort of. Great. Just pull it down to the member website one. One more. All right. So that's what that one is there. Now, let's hit one more, next one. The next one that you have up there is called Attain by Aetna. Now, this is a partnership between Apple and Aetna that we launched earlier this year. This is for anybody with an iPhone. Now, for those of you who don't have an iPhone, well, we're working on see if we could produce something for those people too. But this is basically a way to possibly get a free Apple Watch for yourself. Or if you've recently got one, how to help pay for it. The way it works is, in addition to just, if you have, track how many steps you're taking, this takes it the next level. You know, are you getting your screenings? Are you getting your flu shots? What else are you doing to stay healthy? And it keeps tracking it, and you keep earning rewards for this. And with these rewards, you can get gift cards to certain stores, or you accumulate enough points and dollars that can help defray the cost of an Apple Watch. Now, you may be asking, well, how can I track steps and stuff if I don't have the watch yet? Well, there's two ways it could work. If you've already just bought a watch, you can accumulate these points to help and dollars to help defray the cost you just paid. Or if you have any other fitness tracker tracking steps, or you're using your phone, or you're getting your screenings, you're getting your flu shots, you're accumulating points and dollars that way too. And you get enough, and it goes towards the cost of a discounted Apple Watch. We can get at a discount through this partnership between Attain and Aetna. And Attain is a separate app you would have to get. You download it. There's more information there. Explore it at attainbyaetna.com. But it's just another way of we're trying to keep people healthier. Okay? Next one. Now, I mentioned earlier on the Aetna member website how there's a lot of discounts available. Well, on the website, you'll see that there's vision discounts. Now, you already have a vision plan, which is much better than this. You have vision coverage. This is just vision discounts. So after you've exhausted your vision benefits, coverage, and the eyeglasses you get through that. Let's say you want to get a second pair or a pair of sunglasses prescription. You get about a 40% discount at Pearl, LensCrafters, Vision, JCPenney Optical, Target Optical, etc. Some of the local places too. We all know that even with a 40% discount, glasses can still be expensive, but it is available to you. Discounts on eye exams, LASIK surgery, and so forth. So this is just other things that are available. Also, savings on healthy lifestyle discounts, for instance, some health coaching, at-home weight loss programs. There's discounts on gym memberships and health equipment, fitness equipment. So when you go onto it, it'll direct you to another website called Global Fit, which we have a partnership with. On Global Fit, it may ask you for your Aetna number. It'll tell you what gyms in your area have discount memberships. On that website, you could order fitness equipment at a discount. So that's available to you. Also, on the back of that brochure that you have there, there's discounts on natural products and services, which include massage therapy, acupuncture. Usually I get someone screaming out, wait a minute, we have coverage for acupuncture, massage therapy? No, you don't have coverage for it. You have discounts for it. There's a difference. But if you go on the Aetna member website and you look on the online provider directory, even on your app, look at the online provider directory. You look under natural services. It'll list acupuncturists, massage therapists in your area you can go to that participate in this where you can get a discount. Someone I worked with went to acupuncturist a few years ago for lower back pain and said that she normally charged like $75, but she showed her Aetna card and she got it done for $60. You know, $15 discount just for acupuncture. So that's available to you. Savings on at-home products, different things, blood pressure monitors, Z-Sonic oral health toothbrushes are available. There's discounts on hearing aids also. So it's just discounts for all the stuff that are available to you just by having an Aetna card. So next I have Lori here from our pharmacy area. Is just going to talk about what's new now that the pharmacy is transitioning to Aetna on January 1st. Lori?
Good afternoon, everyone. I know that as Michael was talking about, he explained how CVS just purchased Aetna. Keep in mind, though, that does not mean that you guys are limited to a CVS pharmacy. I know that was a question this morning. You can still use pretty much all of the big national chains are still available to all of you. The one thing, first of all, that I want to remind everybody is on January 1st, 2nd, whatever it is, the first time you fill, you want to make sure that you show them your new prescription card, because what happens many times is they're going to come to you, the pharmacist will say, you don't have coverage. And probably what happened is they're going to run it through to your old insurance, which you no longer have coverage under. So you want to make sure that you take that new card with you the very first time, whether you do it on the app or the card that you'll get in the mail. So it's very important to make sure you do that so that everything can start flowing correctly. CVS and Aetna, what we'll do for your benefits is you'll be able to go to the pharmacy, get your prescriptions. You also have mail service, but you need to keep in mind that, it's more than just your doctors that are going to prescribe medications. There's time that your dentist may or different physicians would be able to prescribe the prescriptions for you. And this slide here kind of just gives you some information that it's good to know where to keep your prescriptions, make sure that it's in a secure place, being compliant and making sure you're taking them every day. Those are all the important things for pharmacy. Your next slide. Oh, you're so good. And next thing we're going to talk about is CVS mail service. So mail service, what the option is you can get a 90-day supply and they'll send it directly to your house. So your physician would need to actually write your prescription to dispense a 90-day supply with 3 refills. That would take care of you for an entire year. And then what they'll do is they'll fill your prescription, they'll send it to your house, and then about 2.5 months into using that, you'll just call and you can either ask, you can go online to request a refill, you can call and ask for a refill. The other option that you do have is you can call customer service and give them your doctor's information, your information, you'll do the whole profile, and then they'll actually reach out to your physician to get that prescription for you. The other option that doctors have as well is they can e-prescribe it, which it means that from your doctor's office, they can actually just shoot that prescription straight over to mail service. So it's a nice correlation between the pharmacy and the medical providers as well. And the phone number will be on here. You can do it you can register through your app, you can call customer service number that's on your card, and you can always speak to somebody from the pharmacy. One of your benefits that I wanted to point out is that you guys do allow at your retail pharmacy, you can get a 34-day supply or 100 units. So you guys can actually, for your $2 generic copay, you could actually get 100 pills if you're taking 1 a day. So it's a definite good benefit for you guys. Next slide. And then speaking of generics, you want to make sure that you're always trying to fill a generic prescription versus a brand. There's so many generics out on the market now. And the one thing that your benefit does have is if you are choosing a brand medication when there is a generic available, you're going to pay that cost difference between the brand and the generic. So if the brand medication in general cost $50 and the generic maybe would cost $20 total cost, then you're going to pay that $30 difference. So you want to make sure that you're always trying to use generic medications. And keep in mind that they really do regulate the generics so that they are equivalent from each other. They call it AB equivalency to make sure that the generic medication is equivalent to the brand that's out there as well. And then the next slide, I think that's actually all I had.
Thanks, Lori. All right, so we've talked about medical, we've talked about prescription drugs. Next, I want to talk about flexible spending account. Now, you've had this available to you for a few years. Now, years ago, Aetna used to handle flexible spending accounts, health savings accounts. We just could never do it as well as our main competitor, Payflex. So a few years ago, we decided let's merge with Payflex. So now Aetna and Payflex are one company. So that's why you see Payflex up there. It's part of the Aetna family because they could handle FSAs, HSAs a lot better than us. So we're going to talk about the difference between FSA and HSA. So the flexible spending account you've had for a few years. And with this, you can contribute up $2,700 individually for health care or $5,000 for dependent care. So what are the main differences between this and why would you want to do this? Because if you know you're going to have certain healthcare expenses, or you know you're going to have certain dependent care expenses, why pay them after taxes? Meaning, after tax, you might as well take them before tax, meaning money will be taken out of your paycheck before taxes, put into an account, and you pay from that. Well, what does that do to your taxable income? If you're taking it out before taxes, your taxable income goes lower, you pay less taxes at the end of the year. That's the whole point of this. You want it, if you know for sure you're going to have expenses, have it taken out pre-tax, lower your taxable income, and you pay less taxes. The only downside with FSA is if you use it or lose it. If you don't use it by the end of the year, you lose it. So a lot of people, when they try it for the first time, they just dip their toes in the water, and they put maybe a few $100 in, and then by May or June, they realize they've used it all up already, and now they have to pay everything after taxes the rest of the year. And then the next year, they say, I'm going to put a few $100 more. And then by the third or fourth year, they realize, all right, I'm getting a good handle of my known expenses. There's always going to be unknown expenses. But if you know for sure you're going to have stuff, and maybe give it a little buffer, you put it in there. But always know there's the risk you could lose it. But the bottom line is, if you do have an FSA, you're lowering your taxable income, you're paying less taxes. So for the healthcare FSA, as I mentioned, you could put up to $2,700 per year per person in it for you and your spouse. And what's nice about it is it gets evenly taken out from all your paychecks. So if you have 24 paychecks, $2,700 divided by 24 is how much taking out for each check. But even though on January 1st, $2,700 hasn't been withdrawn from your checks yet, that full amount is available to you. So if you have some big claim you have to pay in the beginning of the year, you could use the whole $2,700, even though, and then the rest of the year it'll be taken out of your check after, pre-tax, so it'll lower your taxable income. So that's always good. And now for dependent care, you can contribute as a family up to $5,000 between the two of you for it. And this isn't just for, dependent children. Some may have an elderly parent taken care of that they're paying someone to take care of. This isn't just for you to take care of your parent. But if you have to pay someone to take care of your parent, whether it's in your home or somewhere, that's dependent care. It can be used for that too. Now, unlike the healthcare FSA, where the full amount is available to you from day one, the dependent care, you have to wait till it's deducted from your check before you can use it. But up to $5,000 per year. So you have the healthcare FSA and dependent care FSA, flexible spending account. Now, what's new for January 1, moving to Aetna from Optum, is the health savings account. Health savings account is different from an FSA. With part of this, you need to have the high deductible health plan. This, you lose it at the end of the year. This is a savings account that's always with you. A lot of people use the HSA just to keep accumulating money to pay for retirement years ago. Even people in the 20s, 30s, 40s, they start getting money taken out of their check pre-tax. Once again, you're lowering your taxable income, and it's going into a savings account, which now you have no risk of losing. This is your savings account that you can use. I always planned on my HSA, I was going to save it and just use it for when I retire, but my kids always have unexpected expenses, so I keep taking money out of it every year and paying from that. So, it's just another great tool. Now, people say, well, why do I want to join a high deductible health plan versus my regular plan? Someone mentioned to me on the way in, I may have a lot of expenses coming up, I'm going to be unhealthy, that's not for me. Well, you can look at it the other way. A high deductible health plan that's offered to you through Owens is free. There's no premium. Versus your regular plan, you have to pay premium. If you're in the high deductible health plan, not only is it free, but Owens is putting $500 in the health savings account for you, or $1,000 if you're enrolled in the family. So it's almost like they're paying you to be in the high deductible health plan. Now, you say to yourself, yeah, but it's got a higher deductible I have to pay. Yeah, it is a little higher than the normal plan, but think about the money you're saving. If I were you put down on a piece of paper, the high deductible health plan, what am I saving in premium that I'm not paying throughout the year? The plan is free. Then I'm getting $500 from Owens, or $1,000 for a family, putting in my health savings account, so there's more money put in there. And then, once you've satisfied your deductible on the high deductible plan, you have 90% coverage, versus the regular plan is just 80% coverage. So the argument can be made, if I'm going to have a bad year, I think the high deductible plan is made for me. It's free. Owens is going to put more money, is going to put money into an account for me, and it's going to have 90% coverage versus 80. So it's just things to think about. Do I join the HSA with the high deductible plan, or the FSA with the non-plan? Now, you can't have the FSA and the HSA together. It's one or the other. But keep in mind, both money's taken out pre-tax. So as I'm going to be setting up a video here, I'm going to have Blaine here from PayFlex. Yes, I have another video I want to show you. I want Blaine just to explain some of the ways and options that you have to help pay for your expenses through HSA card, et cetera.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So you will receive, with your health FSA or your HSA, you'll receive a credit card, debit card that you can use to spend the money from your account. Or if you choose, you can pay out of your own pocket and file a claim later online through our payflex.com website. We have a smartphone mobile app as well. You can just take a picture of your documentation and file a claim that way. We typically process claims in about a week. You can also go on to the website and sign up for direct deposit, so you get reimbursed a little faster. And we also have email and mobile notifications, so texting right to your phone when we've reimbursed you. So you'll see your reimbursement a little faster that way. So you've got multiple ways to file. You've got multiple ways to use. The card will be mailed to you shortly after you enroll in December. And you can also go on payflex.com for free and order a second card if you want for your spouse, for a child away, etc.
When it comes
That's it, I'm done.
All right, so let me just show you the differences between an HSA and an FSA here.
When it comes to setting aside money, setting aside money.
Thank God for technology. All right, so it looks like the video is probably not going to work. So one of the other things I put in here was investing in HSA. So as you can see, the money that you have in there, if you have, at least $1,000, it's going to be invested for you. So this is a savings vehicle. Remember, this is not money you're going to lose. This is money that's going to be put in the HSA. So really what that video was going to be telling you is, listen, you have two choices. If you're going to be in the regular medical plan, you have the choice of the flexible spending account. Remember, but you can lose that money at the end of the year if you don't use it all, so you have to be pretty conservative. With the health savings account, you have to be in a high deductible health plan, but you don't have to worry about losing the money. This is a great forced savings, but more importantly, unlike a traditional savings account where you're putting money in your account after taxes, this is pre-tax. You're lowering so if you put $1,000 in, it's not like you're making $1,000 less that year, because you're going to be paying less taxes. You're lowering your taxable income, and you're putting it in there. And as I mentioned earlier, that high deductible health plan can be a great option for you, to join in. Now, I'm not going to go through this. This is the last slide that's in your booklet there. But basically what I did was I put a lot of the advantages of a consumer-driven health plan, a high deductible health plan. That's what this all is. The big things to remember, as I mentioned, joining the high deductible health plan, the premium is free. You're not going to have money taken out of your check every week, every paycheck for a premium. Now, you will have money taken out to put in a health savings account, but you're not losing that money. That money is being put in an account for you, which will always be always be yours. Even when you leave Owens, you could transfer it to another health savings account and use it for, like I said, premiums for years later, use it for medical expenses now, but that is yours. So I just wanted to put that in there, read, at your leisure. So now I know I've thrown a lot of information at you. We've talked about dental, we've talked about vision, we've talked about the medical, we've talked about prescription drugs, we've talked about FSA and HSA. So I thought we'd open it up right now for some questions. Anybody? Yes, in the back. What's the deductibles? I don't have the medical plans in front of me. Is it Patty's here? Here. What's the
It's $2,000 for single and $4,000 for family. That's the HSA, the high deductible plan. Yes. The traditional plan is $750 single and $1,500. Unless you're over, in certain amounts, it could be higher. It's based on your salary. All those are on the open enrollment page. The plan designs?
So, like I said, the best thing is you write down on the piece of paper, because there's no right answer for everybody in here. What's plan is best for me? Everyone has their own individual situation. So you want to write down, all right, here's my deductible for each plan. Here's what I'm saving on the high deductible plan by not paying premium. Here's, now I'm getting, remember, you're getting money put into your account, $500 or $1,000, your health savings account. And then at the end of the day, once you've satisfied your deductible, the high deductible plan pays at 90%. The regular plan pays at 80%. All right. Is there a question over here? Yep. The copays difference? The question is, what are the differences between the copays on the different plans?
There aren't copays in the high deductible plan. You have that $20 copay on our traditional PPO plan only, because you're going to pay a contracted amount that goes towards your deductible in the high deductible plan.
Another question? Yes.
So in general, for most of the pharmacies that you're going to use, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, Happy Harry's is always my favorite to say. They're Kroger's, they're all in network. The only ones that are usually out of network is a lot of compounding pharmacies. You know, they usually don't contract with anybody. And maybe a few, the smaller mom and pops. The network for Aetna Pharmacy, it's a very vast network. So it would all be on there. You can always go on to, and I meant to mention this before whenever I was speaking, that app that he was talking about, you can go out there once you're eligible, once January starts, go out there and you can actually put in the name of your medication and choose the pharmacy of your choice. And then you run, we call it a mock claim, and it'll tell you if you're on the high deductible health plan, it'll come back and tell you it's $42.76 or whatever it is. Or if you're in the regular plan, it'll come back at $2 or $25, whatever your copays are. But if you would, let's say you pick Bob's Pharmacy, and Bob's doesn't have a network, it would say not contracted. Follow-up question? Go ahead.
About the copay, I know its name is $6, but it allows you for 3 months.
Correct.
How come when you go to the pharmacy directly, you have to stick with the 1 month supply?
So it's going to depend on, it's actually a legal issue. It depends on how your physician writes the prescription. So if you're trying to get it filled at your retail pharmacy, well, you know, these benefits actually don't start until January 1st, so keep that in mind. So on January 1st, if your physician writes the prescription, the only thing that you can get filled at your retail pharmacy is a 34-day supply or 100 units. If you're taking one a day, you would be able to get 100 units of your prescription. So that's where it would be. If you want to use mail service, that is actually where they mail the prescription to you. It's going to come from out by Hershey. Everybody's benefits could be different. So what you guys have can be different from, you know, whatever stores down the street or whatever company. Every plan picks their different benefits. Correct. So her question is, her doctor would need to write the prescription for 100 units, and that is correct. You need to make sure that you're writing it for 100 units.
What I've done is I take that pharmacy plan to my doctor and I say, I need you to write it this way. And then I'm able to get that 100 units at Rite Aid with not a problem.
Any other questions? Yes. The question is, under the high deductible health plan, are wellness visits still covered at 100%? The answer is yes. All wellness, preventive, your annual physical, that's all covered at 100%. Mammograms is part of your wellness visits, you know, all that. Yes.
Using the mobile app, so you can pay for the bill student you use the FSA, the PayFlex FSA card to pay through that mobile app.
Can you use the, let's see, well, first, I know you can use, the question is, on the Aetna mobile app, if you want to pay claims, and Blaine, keep me honest here, I know on the HSA, you can definitely use it, because if you have an HSA card, in fact, I know the answer to this. If you have a credit card, an HSA card, or an FSA card, it's going to let you use that. It's going to ask you, what do you want to use? And it's going to ask you to put the number in. The only downside, I remember a couple days ago, I had to pay multiple claims on my kids. And I wanted to pay the next one. I had to re-enter the numbers again. But then I realized there's a reason for that. That doesn't save the information. You know, Aetna luckily has never been susceptible to data breaches, but luckily it doesn't keep my credit card information. So even though I had to pay a couple claims, I used an HSA card, I could use an FSA card, whatever. Each time you pay, you got to re-enter the card, re-enter the 3-digit code on the back, the expiration date, your name, address. So you do have to re-enter it so it doesn't save the information. But yes, you can use that, and it gives you those choices. Question? So the question is the Aetna mobile app going away in December? Our app for years has been called the Aetna mobile app. It is going away in December. Very good. That's why we call it the Aetna Health app now. And the one we showed up here, the Aetna Health app. So for a while on my phone, I had two apps. I had one that was purple and one was like a turquoise green. The turquoise green one's going away. The purple one's available now. It's called Aetna Health app, not Aetna mobile app. And in the brochure you have in your white envelope there, it says Aetna Health app. So yes, there's a new app. It should be purple, not turquoise, going forward. Thank you. The question is, do we have another one for Medicaid? And Medicare? There might, I don't know if there might be another one for that. I don't know. I know there's a PayFlex app too. There's that app for Attain that we talked about on there too. There's an app for everything. Yes? So the question is, if you're on a high deductible plan, or I will say this, on any plan, there's an amount billed and what the member pays. On either plan, there's a discount taken from Aetna. And I'll use the example again. Let's say the doctor charges $100 for something. He's going to charge $100 regardless of what plan you're in, high deductible or regular one. On either one, Aetna has a roughly 50% discount. So now it's reduced to $50. And now it just determines, okay, what's your deductible? Now it goes to what plan are you in? You got that $100 claim is now a $50 claim. Have you met your deductible? No. Okay, you have to pay your deductible. But you always pay the discounted rate. Okay? Any other questions? Yes. Yeah. So the question is, sometimes you go to the doctor, and since Aetna and PayFlex are one company, why is it sometimes that the doctor or the PayFlex is asking for documentation from the doctor? Even though Aetna owns PayFlex, still for security reasons, all this information isn't flowing, back and forth like that. So more times than not, we're not going to ask for additional information. Whatever information we have usually suffices, but maybe the information we got from the doctor wasn't enough. So sometimes we do go back to the doctor. Sometimes we go back to the member saying, hey, we just need a little more information to make sure we pay this. And then you have the choice to say, you know what, I want all my claims going forward paid from the FSA, or do I want to choose each time? All right, this time I don't want to pay. I'll just pay for my own money. All right, this time I will pay from the FSA. But there are times where, yes, we will have to go back to the member and say, hey, we just need additional information. We didn't get everything we needed to substantiate that there's a regular claim here. Sometimes, whatever the receipt might not have been eligible, who knows? It could be various reasons. Any other questions? Yes? For the health, it's $2,700 you could put in for the healthcare FSA. You could put it now, you could up to $2,700. Now, the way that works is, like I said, you don't have to write a check. It doesn't get taken out immediately. It gets divided equally by how many paychecks you have throughout the year. But it is available to you, all of it, on day one. Then the question is, what happens if you quit? I'll let Patty answer that.
That's the risk the college takes by offering this plan. If you enroll and put in $2,700 and you spend it all in January and you quit in February, the college eats that. You do not have to pay it back.
So you win. Any other questions? Well, just so everyone knows, we're going to hang around here if you have any other personal questions and stuff. But Patty has a couple of comments regarding HSA forms.
Yes. So if you're in the high deductible plan, you have a couple forms that you should complete. One of them is a PayFlex HSA account application. That's to start your new PayFlex HSA. It is also on the website and on the open enrollment page, and we will be emailing it to everyone who is currently in the plan with an explanation of what to do and when to do it. The other one that you will need is to transfer your money that is currently in Optum Bank to PayFlex. And you won't want to do that until January. So, and we will explain that. And it tells you where to send the forms and everything, but we don't want to do that yet. Because you're going to get contributions the rest of this year in that Optum account. So, and then there is also, we've added all these on the open enrollment page too. There's one for PayFlex for the FSA. That's one you have to sign up for every year. So there's all those out there too. The high deductible? Account. Are you new to the plan? Okay, so for anyone who signs up for the HSA plan, for the high deductible plan, as a new enrollee, the college is going to give you half of the college money, which is either half of the 500 or half of the 1,000. They will front load that to your card, and it happens with the first pay after your election. So it will happen in January. And then 6 months later, it will start and go in each check, and it shows up on payday. That's how that works. If you're already in the plan, you won't get that front load for next year. You'll just get it every check. That's the employer's contribution. The employee's shows up on payday, is what it has been. Blaine, is that going to be the same next in with pay? Right, you get 1,000 from this college, but then you can put in money too, and your money shows up on payday into that. And that rolls from one year to the next. Any other questions? Oh, yeah. Andrew. Yes, because the college puts in money to your HSA, and it's on the form. You can put in a maximum single of $3,050 and family is $6,100. That is less than that takes out what the college puts in, because we don't want you over deferred for the year. And yes. And there is, for 55 and over, there is a catch-up of $1,000, so you can add that in, and you can write that right below if you want to do the catch-up. You're going to complete an enroll. If anybody wants to switch plans, you complete an open enrollment, the form. It is on the open enrollment page, but I've also have some copies here for you also. You can pick it up on your way out. Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, do we still get the benefit at UTMC?
No. The question was because we're switching pharmacies, do we still get the benefit at UTMC? No, we are no longer partnered with UTMC for prescription coverage. That was part of our old plan. Yes, you can use that through December. And then you'll have the 225, either 45 or 50, depending on what union you're in or non-bargaining unit. The UTMC pharmacy will be going away to get those zero copays and that kind of stuff. That's going away. I believe they're still in our plan, I'm assuming. That I would have to check. I don't know for sure. And yes. Yes, there is specialty pharmacy information on the enrollment, the page for, yes. You can do it one time, and then after that, you have to go in. For the specialty pharmacy, if anybody uses that, you would have to use, you can get one refill, and then you have to start using Aetna's specialty pharmacy. I don't know. Yes. But you'll only have one card to use from now on. Oh, I have another question. Yes. Uh-huh. No, you do not. If the college puts in money in your HSA, you do not have to put any more money in if you do not want to. And? You pay the full contract. If you're on the high deductible plan, you don't pay the $225.45 until you meet your deductible. You pay a contracted amount for prescriptions. But that contracted amount adds towards your deductible that you need to meet for the year. Like a physical, an annual physical.
Our insurance is anything that is all tests done during the physical.
That's not covered, probably.
But the word all, when I read it, is not really all, because sometimes the doctor will ask for something.
If they ask for blood work or something like that on your annual physical, that's an optional item. You're going to pay for that. That's not covered at 100%. Only the physical is covered at 100%. No, that's not part of the physical. That's separate. All that's covered is the physical itself. Any blood work they order, any tests, those are procedures, and you're going to pay a contracted amount for those. What?
It was like that in
No. I've been here 10 years. It's not been like that. It hasn't been like that. We're not making a change. One polyp? Yes. What advantages do you have? Are you enrolled in Medicare? No. Okay, that's good. Because you can't participate. If you're enrolled in Medicare, you cannot participate in the HSA, put contributions in. There isn't really a whole lot of benefits. You got to that age, that's great. Okay. Matt, just a second. Shh. I'm sorry? I don't think so. Lori, is the contracted rate for prescriptions listed somewhere? No, it is not. And what I did to compare, because I'm in the traditional plan, so what I did is I went out and created an Optum RX account that I can look at. It tells me the amounts that I paid, and then I can look, you got to dig through it, but you can find the amounts the plan pays. And you add those two together, and that should give you a good idea of what it would cost you to pay for that prescription out of pocket. Yes. That's fine. You are welcome. Thank you all for coming.